Hello and good evening. I'm Mohan Priya. Welcome to News on 2. The Election Commission expects over 80% turnout for the Sungai Kandis by-election tomorrow, which was called following the death of its assemblyman Mat Suhaimi Shafi'i on July 2nd. According to EC Deputy Chairman Tan Sri Othman Mahmud, several improvements have been implemented, such as increasing polling booths and streams to accommodate the 50,800 registered voters in the constituency. Polling hours will be extended by 30 minutes, which means that stations will close at 5:30 p.m. and results are likely to be announced before midnight.
Kita jangkakan 80% peratusan keluar mengundi, tapi ini tertakluk kepada keadaan cuaca lah. Sebab sekarang kita tak tentu cuaca ni, pagi kadang hujan atau petang. Jadi saya menyerulah kepada semua pengundi untuk merancang perjalanan keluar mengundi supaya tidak berlaku kesakan dan dengan mengambil kira faktor cuaca pada esok. Ya?
In light of the death of the Sri Satya Assemblyman, Professor Dr. Shahruddin Badruddin, yesterday, Tan Sri Othman confirmed that the EC was officially notified today by Selangor Legislative Assembly Speaker Ng Swee Lim. He said the EC will meet next week to determine the dates for the Sri Satya by-election.
Kita baru sebentar kita terima notis pengusungan daripada Speaker Dewan Undangan Negeri Selangor dan insya-Allah SPR akan mengadakan mesyuarat khas bagi menentukan tarikh-tarikh mengundi dan juga tarikh-tarikh pencalonan dari penamaan calon dan juga tarikh-tarikh lain yang berkaitan dengannya. Insya-Allah minggu depan.
Tan Sri Othman was speaking to the media after inspecting the EC's preparations for tomorrow's by-election in Shah Alam earlier today. A total of 1,200 police personnel will be deployed during the Sungai Kandis by-election tomorrow, with at least 32 officers and cops to be on duty at each polling station. Shah Alam District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Baharuddin Mattaib said these personnel comprise of policemen, traffic police and criminal investigation department officers. Speaking to reporters when met at Section 19 in Shah Alam today, ACP Baharuddin said the officers and personnel are tasked to ensure public safety at all the polling centres, as well as to monitor traffic and escort the ballot boxes to the voting centre. He also said that officers from the CID will be on the lookout for any elements of criminal act, adding that officers from the special branch will also be deployed to channel information pertaining to safety and to prevent any untoward incidents that could threaten the voting process.
So far, tidak ada maklumat yang mengatakan kawasan panas. Kita treat semua tempat pusat pengundi itu kawasan sama rata. So, seperti mana yang saya tekankan tadi, kita ada enough manpower untuk menghadapi semua keadaan.
ACP Baharuddin also advised supporters of the candidates contesting in the by-election to act in accordance with the law and to refrain from causing chaos, especially at the voting centres. UMNO and Barisan Nasional will make way for PAS to contest in the Sri Satya by-election, expected to be called after the seat fell vacant following the death of Assemblyman Shahruddin Badruddin yesterday. UMNO's Deputy President Datuk Sri Mohamad Hassan said UMNO's decision to stay out of the by-election was to reciprocate PAS' decision to skip the Sungai Kandis by-election, which UMNO is contesting.
UMNO dan Barisan Nasional kita telah pun berunding secara tidak rasmi yang berhormat Presiden Parti Datuk Seri Zaid Amin Hamidi telah pun kita rundingkan, dan saya nak buat pengumuman di sini bahawa dalam pilihan raya Dewan Undangan Negeri Sri Setya ini, Barisan Nasional ataupun UMNO khususnya akan memberi laluan kepada PAS untuk bertanding di kawasan tersebut.
Speaking today, Datuk Sri Mohamad said he is fully on board to help PAS in Sri Satya and will be there on the ground to assist the PAS candidate. Shahruddin passed away yesterday evening after losing a battle with colon cancer. In the May 9th general election, he garnered 29,250 votes to win the Sri Satya seat. PAS had skipped the Sungai Kandis by-election to allow UMNO to mount a strong challenge against Pakatan Harapan. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail paid her last respects today to Sri Satya Assemblyman Professor Dr. Shahruddin Badruddin, who died of colon cancer yesterday. She paid her respects at Masjid Jamiur Rahmah in Kampung Limau Manis in Dengkil, Selangor at about 9 a.m. before the late Assemblyman was laid to rest around 9:30 this morning.
Kita merasa sedih kerana kehilangan Profesor Syahrudin yang salah seorang daripada exco kita daripada Kerajaan Negeri Selangor, dan kita harapkan, kita doakan agar dia diampuni rohnya dan dicurahi segala pengampunan dan akan ditempatkan bersama dengan orang muttaqin.
Muhammad Zawawi Ahmad Mukini, the Pakatan Harapan candidate for the Sungai Kandis state by-election, also paid his last respects to the late Dr. Shaharuddin at the mosque. He described Dr. Shaharuddin as an intellectual and activist who had been deeply committed to his task. Selangor Menteri Besar Amiruddin Syari, Health Minister Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad, Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department Muhammad Hanifah Maidin, PKR Vice President Tian Chua and UMNO Youth Chief Datuk Dr. Ashraf Wajdi Dasuki were among those who also paid their last respects to Dr. Shaharuddin. The Butterworth Sessions Court in Pulau Pinang charged a 37-year-old man for raping an underage teenager. The accused Chia Tia Huat pleaded not guilty to the charge read before Justice Nur Aini Yusof. The case facts stated that the accused was charged for raping a 13-year-old girl at about 3 p.m. on December 12th last year at a shopping mall in Perai. Prosecution was conducted by Deputy Public Prosecutor Natrah Nazratul Muhammad Yusof, while the accused was represented by attorney Latsmanan Punusami. Justice Nur Aini later granted the accused 18,000 ringgit bail in one surety. The accused was ordered to report himself to the nearest police station once every 15 days to surrender his passport to the court and is not allowed to approach the victim with the purpose of disturbing her or the prosecution witnesses. The court set September 3rd for case remention. Almost 40,000 kilograms of ketum leaves and 830,000 litres of ketum water were seized as of July 31st in Perlis. The figures are based on records since January, with Padang Besar posting the highest value seized at 1.3 million ringgit. In line with that, Padang Besar District Police Chief, Acting Superintendent Muhammad Halim Yatim, reiterated that enforcement is constantly being enhanced in lieu of syndicates smuggling contraband goods to a neighbouring country. The authorities did not rule out the fact that the higher market value caused the number of ketum-linked captures to rise as compared to the same period of time last year.
Kebanyakan daun ketum ni adalah hendak diseludup ke negara jiran. Dan kita dapat maklumat di negara jiran ni hasil ataupun harga semasa daun ketum ni lebih kurang RM60 sehingga ke RM80.
Speaking during a press conference at Padang Besar District Headquarters, he said 6 locals aged 25 to 45 were detained. The illegal night market that has sprung up around the construction project quarters of Forest City, Iskandar Putri in Johor, was raided to root out illegal traders and curb the spread of diseases. During the operation carried out by the Iskandar Putri City Council, 34 summonses were issued and 100 illegal stalls run by foreigners were clamped down for running business activities without valid licenses.
Daripada keseluruhan tindakan yang diambil oleh anggota dan pegawai bersama dengan bantuan daripada jabatan-jabatan dalaman MBIP adalah pembersihan kemah-kemah dan juga kanopi 10x10, kemah 20x10 dan juga merampas dan menyita barang-barang perniagaan termasuk barang-barang masakan.
All the errant traders are being summoned under By-Law 3 of the Registration of Hawkers Act 1982 of the Local Government Act 1976. A family from Kampung Hujung Repek, Bachok, Kelantan is appealing to the authorities for their daughter to be returned home after claims that the girl was kidnapped by another teenage boy on April 26th. According to the father, Muhammad Samudin Mat Saleh, 50, 15-year-old Mirsha Safiyah Muhammad Samudin called him on July 25th on his mobile phone from a number registered in a neighbouring country, but they only spoke for a minute. She sounded scared and nervous, wanting to come home as if she did not know of her whereabouts.
Dan pada 2-3 hari lepas, saya dapat panggilan daripada anak saya dan saya sahkan nombor yang dipanggil itu daripada nombor Thailand. Jadi saya mohon pihak kerajaan ataupun pihak Interpol untuk mengesan anak saya di Thailand.
Mohammad Samudin added that as soon as Mishra Safia disappeared, he went to the suspect's house but found it locked up. Previously, the suspect had kidnapped Mishra Safia when she was in Form 1, and the culprit was jailed for the offence. He repeated the same offence earlier this year, but Mishra Safia was returned after the suspect's family ordered the girl's family not to make a police report. Popular television personality Datuk Mahathir Lokman passed away today, aged 61. He was confirmed to have died at a Kota Kinabalu hospital at about 9:30 a.m. Kota Kinabalu Police Chief ACP Habibi Manjinji said the police received the report at about 11 a.m. When contacted by the media, ACP Habibi said the deceased had checked into the hotel on Tuesday for work-related matters before he was pronounced dead by a medical specialist from Queen Elizabeth Hospital today. He said that there were no signs of any criminal behavior and the victim may have died of a disease he had earlier contracted. The matter has not been confirmed and further investigation will be conducted by the authorities. Various local media earlier gathered at the grounds of the Forensics Department of the hospital since noon today in order to get the latest report regarding the deceased. In conjunction with UEM Sunrise Berhad's 50th celebration today in Kuala Lumpur, the group is offering a special offer for 300 units of landed and high-rise properties under its 7 projects in Cyberjaya and Johor Bahru. The special offer, beginning August 6 to mid-September, will enable buyers to purchase the properties with prices starting from 293,000 ringgit and down payments as low as 1,000 ringgit. According to its Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Anwar Shahrin Abdul Ajib, there are a total of 7 properties involved in the campaign, located across Cyberjaya and Iskandar Putri, Johor. Anwar noted, however, that the campaign would have an effect on the margin for the company.
There will be an effect on margins, that's for sure. But we are also, as a company, we'll make sure that we'll minimize the impact of the margin to our bottom line. So for us, we were excited to sacrifice some of these margins, so that we are taking note. We are answering the call of the government to make houses affordable for people.
Anwar Shahrin also said that UEM Sunrise is on track to achieve its 1.2 billion ringgit sales target for the financial year 2018, having achieved between 60% and 70% of the sales target to date. He said the group had seen pickup in sales in the first half of the year, which was partly contributed by the improving buying sentiment after the 14th general election. Proton Holdings Berhad posted its strongest sales numbers for the last 30 months, selling 8,102 cars in July. The national car maker said in a statement this was 31% more than the sales recorded in June, and the performance was primarily driven by local customers who had taken advantage of the zero rating for goods and services tax, GST, and export market. According to Proton EDA Chief Executive Officer Abdul Rashid Musa, the company had experienced a third consecutive month of market share growth with about 11.7% of the total industry volume, TIV, noting that the Saga and Persona continue to be its popular models. Abdul Rashid said Proton was hopeful of carrying over this momentum even after SST had been introduced, as the company geared up for the launch of its first sports utility vehicle later this year. The Saga and Persona continued to lead sales, with the former breaking through the 3,000 unit barrier for the first time in 2018. The Persona achieved a new high point for the year as more than 2,221 sales were recorded, marking the first instance it breached the 2,000 unit barrier since May 2017. United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo called on Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad this morning for talks as he concluded his two-day inaugural visit to Malaysia. During the 30-minute meeting at Perdana Putra in Putrajaya, Pompeo took the opportunity to congratulate the Premier for his stunning May general election victory. Pompeo, who arrived at 9 a.m., was accompanied by United States Ambassador to Malaysia, Kamala Shirin Lakdir. He said the meeting provided a great opportunity for both Malaysia and the US to discuss a wide range of bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. Also present were Defence Minister Muhammad Sabu and Deputy Foreign Minister Datuk Marzuki Yahya. Pompeo is the most senior US official to visit Tun Dr. Mahathir since his election victory. The US Secretary of State arrived in Malaysia yesterday to kick off his 5-day tour to 3 Southeast Asian countries. The United States established diplomatic ties with Malaysia in 1957, following the then Malaya's independence from the United Kingdom. And that concludes this evening's News on 2. In our top story today, BN gives way to PAS in Sri Satya by-election. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Mohana Priya. Thanks for watching.